Welcome to the What's Next podcast. On today's episode, Bryan and I open up and chat about why we came together to share our stories. We want to start the conversation. We're here to break down some walls and dig into some tough spots. Join us on this journey. So if you're ready, buckle up. Let's go. Hey guys, welcome back to What's Next. Bryan Stevens.
Thank you, sir.
And myself, Michael Hectus. Hey, thanks for checking out our first podcast. We had a nice little following. I'm surprised. I thought you and I would be the only two that listened to ourselves. Well, and Steven, because we threw Stephen Ryan in there, so he wanted to hear what it sounded like. But and maybe Brent Ferguson, because we talked about him. But episode 2.
Wow.
And I'm excited. We talked about it. There's some great guests coming up, but we wanted to jump in again today, just the two of us, to kind of elaborate a little bit more on the stories we started with, and that's where we came from and where we are and kind of what's next again. But this podcast, as we said, is just a place to tell your story, to hear stories that maybe you can relate to and say, you know what, that's where I am. Yeah, I'm feeling stuck right now. Or, you know what, no, I'm in that place too. And I want to maybe reach out to the community that we've got started here and find a place where no one's going to judge me, a little judgment free, a safe place to be and a safe place to share your story and know that, we're here to help.
Yeah, and it's like over at Frontline that I created the sort of the mantra or just what we're all about there. But it's a place for you to just come and feel healthy and feel safe and feel strong.
Yep.
Explaining each one of those, the healthy part is just from a both physical and mental aspect. The feel safe component of it, that's where a lot of people, and this goes unrelated to really the community as a whole. It's more for our first responders.
Right, 100%.
A place to feel safe, that they can come there and truly feel not judged, and they can come and just be them and to be able to not have the interaction with the community that they do on the job, and they can just come. It's a place for them. It's their home.
It's and from an outsider, I mean, I look in and what your whole vision was for when you started Frontline Forward was just that.
Yeah.
And if we can let's kind of talk a bit about that, because when you first started it, you wanted this because it was a place that you wanted to be in the gym. That's where you felt safe.
Yeah.
That's where you felt strong. And now all of a sudden you're building a place for them to be, and we were struggling to get guys to come and girls to come to show up. And why was that? Why were they struggling?
Well, I think it primarily just comes down to this simple aspect that you can build it. I hate to be cliche here, but you can build it. Hopefully they'll come. But really what put us on the map was the world pandemic.
Yeah.
It hit, and because we are a place that supports the physical and mental health of primarily our first responders, we were able to keep our doors open during the times when the world had to shut down.
Right.
And we did that because of an amendment to the Disabilities Act. And, our first responders went out and got letters from their healthcare practitioners saying that, yes, they needed to continue to do what they're doing.
Absolutely.
And I want to make sure that I emphasize with this to everybody, that there was so many first responders that came to us during when we're right in the meat and potatoes of the pandemic, that the look on their faces, I wish I could have recorded it.
Yeah.
But I had people that come up and the look on their faces was, you have no idea what this place means to me.
Yeah.
A place for me to go, for me to be able to release in whatever way, but just a place to feel safe.
Yeah, and like you said, and being first responders, I mean, they're with their brothers and sisters. They're not, there's no judgment there whatsoever. You're there in this safe place, and they need that. I mean, they need that gym.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? Along with all that, we've got just an amazing chiropractor at our place. We got 2 of the best physiotherapists in the region of Waterloo with us that are going to be opening up their new clinic here in the next couple of weeks. We've got massage therapists, hypnotherapists. We've got some clinical social work going on there, osteopaths, and just a lot of really cool things happening.
Yeah,
all at the same time.
And I think the thing that I noticed, again, like I say, I was there from the beginning watching you pull this together, and with Ange, your wife and stuff, and it was crazy what the vision you had from this building we walked into to where it is today. But it is, and again, it's one of those things where I'm going to talk about is that, you know, you're a first responder and you come in there, and on so many of them, you know, you could see when they came in, it might have been a bad day, might have been a bad shift, might have been whatever, and didn't really want to talk about it. But after they left that place, it was like the world off their shoulders. They got a place to go in there and release.
Yeah.
And one of the things I tell you is every day can be different, and who you are this day versus the other day. It's always so different. You tell this great story about the black and the gray wolf, and
Yeah. You know, it's a story that came to me during my therapy, and it's stuck with me because it means so much to me, because I was totally relatable, and I think it can be relatable to you guys, and you don't have to be a first responder for this to be
exactly.
relatable. It just hit home, and it was he gave me a story to read about the black and the gray wolf, and it was all about a native Indian elder in the family had his grandson sitting on his knee, and he was passing on words of wisdom. And the little guy was just a sponge, and he's just listening to his grandpa tell the story about the black wolf and the gray wolf, because he said that's who we are as people. We connect to the family aspect of what the wolf pack is all about, and that's who we are. We as a people relate to the wolves. You know, it's proven that you know, wolves are just the most incredible. They're incredible pack hunters, but they're very family oriented.
Yeah.
And he goes, really, that's what we are. So he said, but I'm going to explain to you about the black and the gray wolf.
Right.
And the little guy's like, yeah, Grandpa, go ahead. And he just said, you know, the black wolf represents in life greed and deceit and anger, maliciousness, vindictiveness, the negative things in life, basically is what it comes down to. That's what the black wolf was all about. He's scary looking. He's all black, and he just shows you his teeth, and that he's just that angry, lost sort of soul.
Yeah.
And then he explained to him that we are the black wolf, and we're also the gray wolf. And the gray wolf represents love and caring and family and understanding and acceptance. And it really brings the family together as a whole. And the little guy's just, like I said, just sucking all this in and going, you know, and he adds a little bit more questions with that. And then it comes down and he goes, but Grandpa, you said that we're all the black wolf and the gray wolf. How can that be? And he goes, well, we are. There's times in our lives when we're black, and there's times that we're gray and understanding. And he goes, so Grandpa, which one are you? And he goes, whichever one I decide to feed today.
Wow.
So that was powerful for me. So we have choices each and every day. Every one of us.
Yeah, and I think that's so cool to lead into that, and we'll continue on that, because that's what we're trying to do, is be that community that, because you feed off either the black wolf or the gray wolf.
Exactly.
So as we come together with this community, we're hoping that we can give you the right fuel or the right, you know, the right food to be that gray wolf. And yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah,
a great story.
It is. It's a story that's near and dear to me, because when my world was seemingly falling apart. The black wolf was right there. And I was that angry, mixed up person that just wanted to lash out. You know, one of our, and I apologize, but I am going to reference back to first responders on a number of ways, because that's the world I come from. But I had one of the police officers at our place tell me the other day, he goes, people can't never see my pain until they see my anger. That's where they see my pain. And really, that's the black wolf.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where I get the black wolf is hanging around there, and then all of a sudden it comes to be angry, and they lash out, and bang, you know, they bite, or they do whatever they're going to do, and then people are you know, critical of that.
Yeah.
But that's where it lies.
You know, and again, I'm coming from the other side of the world, and it's funny, all the time we trained at the other gym, you know, the gym we started out, which was Popeyes back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
It was the best place ever. But
Oh, it was.
but training at that gym, and it's from the outsider looking in, I was thinking, why are these guys always so silent? Why do they look so angry all the time? I mean, I had started to build a relationship, but I had to break down that wall where they would talk to me. And it was crazy. It was like, yeah, they're all just pompous asses. You look at that, but that's not it. You had no idea what they went through that day. He or she or whatever. And it's tough. I mean, and we'll talk about that more as we get through this, because there's, think about it. I mean, I don't know if I'm the black wolf or the gray wolf today. And so often that can not even happen with first responders, but also at the workforce. Somebody comes in and next thing you know, you're in an environment where you're struggling and somebody beside you thinks, oh, you're being a bit of a jackass today, but you have no idea what somebody's gone through at home before they got there.
Right.
It's the silence that people don't want to talk about it. So let's talk a bit about that, because there's, again, we touch base on Frontline Forward, and that's the first responders world. Why the silence? Yeah.
And I can only speak for myself.
Yeah.
But I got to such a stressful point in my life, like as a critical care flight paramedic, like I said, highest trained, educated, certified medics here in Canada, had to operate where expected to operate at such a high level. But I could get to the scene of an accident or the scene at a hospital, and I could actually, like I spoke about this in the last podcast, in the first one, but I could actually just shut out the noise around me. And it's a hard thing for me for people to go, okay, but hopefully there's somebody out there that's going, yeah, man, that's me.
Yeah.
I that's what I experienced. But I could literally shut out the noise around me so I could concentrate on what I needed to do.
Exactly.
And the problem with that, not that that's a bad thing, it's a good thing to help. But then I shouldn't say I never, I just got to a point where I didn't reassociate. I didn't shut that off. And to a lot of people out there, friends, family, coworkers, whatever, all of a sudden they see the change. And as first responders, most definitely your life changes.
Yeah.
When you put that uniform on, when you become that person, your life has changed, because what they see, hear, feel, touch, smell, they can never forget.
Yeah.
So once you're there,
Yeah.
You can't.
And to touch on that, I mean, here I am, I'm the victim. I'm hoping that you are in that mindset of, I'm going to focus first on you, but you never stop and think, how was your day yesterday? Or how was your night?
Right.
And how did you get, is everything okay?
Yeah.
I'm counting on you being that professional and that expert that's going to take care of me and get me to the hospital and make sure I'm okay. But I have no idea what you've gone through. No clue what you've gone through or what's on your mind.
And, it's taken me a long time to get to be where I am. In the last 3-4 year journey here, I would say, it's taken me a lot, and I've had to endure an awful lot. I got to a point where I got better from a mental aspect, and it was away from the job. Then along comes Frontline. It's stressful to be a business owner. Lots of decisions, again, that weight is sitting on you, like many of our entrepreneurs out there.
Yep.
That's a heavy burden to take home every night.
It's my life. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I let that affect me in my family life once again. And it's the people that are closest to us, our husbands, wives, our sons and daughters, moms and dads, the people that are, part of the inner circle, as you say it. These are the people that we can do the most damage with.
Yeah.
And again, it entered into that era with me once again where, I was starting to go down that rabbit hole again. And, I'm remorseful over that, and I'm sad about that. And, at times it's important. And as this was just pointed out to me the other day, that it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It's really okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's a powerful message for us all to hear and to relate to. Yeah, man, it's okay to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I was wrong in the situation that I was with my family once again for where I had let myself go, because I wasn't self-aware once again. So, I mean, it's a roller coaster, right?
Yep.
Life's a roller coaster.
Yep,
Good
absolutely.
days, bad days.
Yep. And it's how you deal with those up and down days.
Yeah. And, you know, like you and I have talked about many times, you can't have light without darkness.
No,
There has to be.
Yeah.
You know, so again, you know, going back to our good friend Brent Ferguson, that's helped us, you know, mold this thing.
Kind of clarify the message.
Yeah, it'll get better. So really, what is the problem that we're trying to identify here?
Well, I think more than anything is that you're not alone. I mean, there's so many people that feel they're alone. I'm the only one in this place right now. Holy mackerel. I don't want to talk about it because people are going to think that I'm weak. They're going to judge me, whatever else, because you feel like you're the only one in that place. And until you open up and start to talk about it and share, you realize that, okay, that's the first step, is to talk about it. I mean, too many people hold their story within until you start to talk about it. Then all of a sudden,
it's painful.
Oh,
it's emotional.
Exactly.
Right.
It's so painful. And
You
I mean,
know.
especially when you know, family's listening and they can hear your story. And all of a sudden you think, you get your own family looking at you going, holy shit, you've been holding all that back?
Yeah.
There we go again. Shit.
What?
Yeah. I'm going to be real, guys. We're going to be real through this whole podcast. But one of the things, again, I like it because I'm coming from the side of the general public out here that are looking inside. And when I watched you build this gym, and how, you know, this was such a vision for you, and coming from the place you saw in Kingston to see the place here and want to build that too, but how we struggled to get those people in there, because all of a sudden it was, if I go to Frontline Forward, it looks like I got an issue. It looks like I've got some weakness, and I'm going there because they're going to give me therapy. They're going to do all those things, but that's not what the purpose was to build the place. The place was so that they could be together and feel safe, but people looked at it the wrong way in the beginning. And again, it took some time to get that changed over. And I think the pandemic actually helped that, because you had to open up the doors, or you were open during the pandemic because of all the right reasons. And what that did is that all of a sudden they walked into the place because it was the only one they could walk into.
Right.
And they said, wait a minute, this is a safe place. This isn't a place that people are going to wonder, why am I going in there?
Yeah, and you know what? I appreciate those comments. What's the uniqueness about our place is, sure, we offer all the training equipment and all that you can do, and we offer the services of, you know, physio and chiro and massage and all that. But for me, the most, I guess, pleasurable is the word, and I don't mean that in a bad way. What is really cool for me is to be able to walk into that gym and see people in conversation.
Yeah.
And then I can walk back out of there and be doing my thing around there. And then Max and I will walk into the gym like 10, 15, 20 minutes later, and that same group of people is still standing there talking.
Yeah.
About whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's the art of conversation. I think we've lost it.
Yeah.
In society. I think we don't talk about it enough, and we don't talk about it because we don't think people want to listen.
Yeah.
People want to hear the stories.
Yeah.
And it's painful for me to relay to you and to everybody else out there that, you know, I was broken. I was an angry, broken mess. And I allowed myself to get there. And it's almost shameful that, you know, you think that you're this in control kind of person.
For sure.
Here's one of the things too that I'll just share with you guys. Like during my therapy steps, so walking across that stream, that fast moving stream, my therapist said to me one day, he said, "So you're all about control, eh?" And I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Don't bullshit me." He goes, "You're all about you're for your critical care flight paramedic. You're all," but he goes, "You're all about control. You take control because that's the way we're trained.
Exactly.
We go in and we take
control of the situation.
Right. So this is relatable in life as well, right? So he goes, so that's your problem. Is that your problem? You think that's your problem? That you need to be in control? And I sit there and I was back and forth with him, and finally I go, "Yes, goddammit, yes." That's what it is. It's all about control. He goes, "Love it." He goes, "Okay, we're going to do an exercise now about control." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." thinking,
Yeah.
I'm in control.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
got this. Let's do it. I'll tackle this thing. He goes, I'd like you to get up, go into the bathroom right over there. He goes, empty your bowels, empty your bladder. I go, well, I don't have to. He goes, I didn't ask you that. He goes, I asked you to get up, be in control, go empty your bowels, your bladder. I said, dude, I don't have to. He goes, so you're not listening to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
He goes, you want to be about control? You're in control? Get up and do it.
Yeah.
And I went, oh. And that was an eye-opener for me. It's a very simple statement.
Yeah.
But he said, control is an illusion. Totally. Control is, we don't really control anything. We can influence.
Influence, yeah. I was
We
just gonna
can
say, but you can
help to change. We can
Yeah.
make it a black wolf or a gray wolf day. But we're not in control of that. And that was a big eye opener for me, because those of us, those people that are, call them type A or
Yeah, whatever.
forward
Yeah,
thinking
yeah.
people, or people that are, managers or CEOs of big companies, they think they're in control.
Yeah.
And like, we're not in control of anything.
Yeah.
But that was a big eye opener for me.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, tough one to hear, but
Yeah. And again, you take, when we get back to the life I had, where, like I said, everybody saw a successful person, and out there, and in the public eye, and I loved absolutely love what I do. But in the same breath, you got to go home, and because you're in charge, and make sure that of everything, that you're on track. Everything's on track. You set your goals for the year. You're on track with your goals, and where you guys, you're thrown into a position where all of a sudden you got to react.
yeah.
And take control of it. Where, just wow. Sorry, I got off thinking about myself there for a second. Sorry, just listen to the other thing. Man, my story's not even close to yours. I'm trying to think of but it
is.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
And that's what the beauty of this podcast.
That's what we're trying to relay to people, is like, no, man, sure, we were talking about a lot of first responder stuff because that's the world, but first responders are just ordinary people.
Yeah.
They just chosen to do a fairly extraordinary type job.
Yeah.
The problem is that we let that to start define who we are as people.
Yeah.
And totally not judgmental with you, but you let what you were doing define who you were.
Oh yeah.
You were Mike Hectus.
Exactly.
You're mover, shaker,
Yeah.
the whole bit, and you continue to do that. And everyone, because people seen you that way.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything that I did, like I say, business-wise, and what I do now is all about, I want to see the success of my client. I want to see them successful, and I will go above and beyond to make sure that they are successful in what they're doing. But sometimes it's out of my control, because I'm not actually manufacturing the product. I'm bringing it in out of the Orient, whatever else.
Yeah.
I'm relying on a lot of other things around me, but I have to try to bring those elements together. So it is stressful. Like I said, everybody's in a position, but I'm sitting here listening to your story going, man, I really got to get a job. I got to get a life, man. Oh man.
No, man, don't get a job. Don't grow up.
I'm never going to grow up.
No.
But no, that's incredible. And and we look at Frontline Forward, and I've learned so much being part of watching your journey with building Frontline Forward as to, how we can have such an impact on other people's lives by reaching out and saying, you know what, we can help. I don't know how. We don't have to ask how. We don't have to know how. That's the biggest thing, maybe.
No.
You don't have to know how.
No.
Just be there. Like you said, you would see them having a conversation in the gym, and half an hour later, they're still having a conversation. And that's because that's the place they go.
Well, we and I think as a society, as a people, we forget how to be here right now.
Yeah.
We forget that because we've got so much else going on in our lives, thinking about tomorrow, thinking about finances, thinking about whatever is going on in our lives, and we forget to be here right now. We forget to be here and to have conversation. But I said this to one of the people the other day, and it just sort of fell out of my mouth, and we're talking, and it came down to I think we've almost lost the art of communication, but specifically communication with the intent on listening.
Oh, for sure.
We don't want to hear what they have to say.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, it's my job. I mean, I look at it all the time. You walk into a room of 20-some thousand people, and you're looking around to see who's looking at you. Well, they're not looking at you. They're looking to see that you notice them, for crying out loud.
Right.
And it's the other thing too. When you have this conversation, what you're always doing is trying to think about what you're going to say next. Oh, and wait a minute. No, I want to. No, take some time and listen.
Just listen.
And that's the biggest thing we want with this podcast, is to listen. I mean, there's so many people just want to tell their story. And, it's this, let me go back to the silence again. You know what? Nobody's listening, so I'm just going to sit here in silence. When you sit long enough in silence.
Yeah. And you know what? Relatable. I have some of the most incredible conversations on a daily basis with not just first responders, but just the people over there at Frontline, and with the intent on, with me, I really practice the art of listening. Truly listening. And, what that comes down to is just, I tell people, set realistic goals in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't be 50%, 100% better the next day, but you can be 1% better.
Yeah.
And I say to people all the day, they walk in the door and I go, how's today? And they went, today's okay. And I went, awesome.
Yep, there you go.
If today's okay, we're 1%.
Yeah.
And that's all we have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
well, like we said, it's how COVID has changed so many things, and I look at myself too, and how I truly believe, like I say, I've changed a lot through the whole thing, because I had to kind of refocus who I was. Mm-hmm. Working from home, having to try to relate to people through Zoom calls and all this other stuff, or at least people are coming into your gym. You're getting to talk to some people, where I was doing everything. Oh man, through the World Wide Web, as we call it, and it was difficult. But I myself, again, like I said, I knew that I was struggling to be alone,
right. And
I had to try to find a way to release that. And it's funny how I spent a lot of time during COVID when I was alone, because Vicky was working. My lovely wife works in an ultrasound fertility clinic. I mean, they never stopped. No. People didn't stop having babies. I don't get it. Anyway, in fact, they had a lot more. So anyway, so here she is. She's working every day. She'd come home and, how was your day? And yeah, it was okay. But I could see that it was bothering her that right. I wasn't going anywhere. I was home all day. And she would love to have been home. Like, she was home, watched to raise the kids for us when they were young, and she absolutely loved it. Then went back to work when the kids left. And I could see the struggle in her, wondering, what'd you do today? And it was kind of like, don't judge me.
What did you do around here today?
I felt like I did a lot, but it was, I had to, again, I truly believe, and she can call bullshit if she wants, but it was one of those things where I looked at how I changed myself to become a better partner, because I knew that she was going into work every day. She was being put into this place where she was on, she didn't want to have to be, because you're going into a place where people are coming in. You have no idea if you're going to catch COVID. Back in 2020, when it was the worst of the worst, we didn't know a lot about it. And here I was at home.
Yeah.
And she's wondering, what are you doing? So, I mean, I want to touch base on that in the nice go around, because I mean, I could go on that forever and ever, because I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but this is the shit that I did to get through COVID and become a better person. So anyway, wow. Is it time? Getting close.
Oh, I almost started singing there.
Another song. Holy crap.
It's another song.
Yeah.
Anyways, listen, guys, we could go on and on about this and our stories and relatable stuff. We're going to start reaching out to some good friends of ours to bring on. We're not just saying because it's our podcast. We've got some amazing people lined up.
It is our podcast.
What is it? Yeah, that's right. It is.
It is ours. But we want to invite some friends in, because you don't want to listen to just us all the time. So we got some great people with some great stories.
Yeah.
And just love that they've jumped up and said, yeah, I want to be part of this.
Yeah. And we want to say thanks for listening. We're going to set it up where you'll be able to send us your thoughts on upcoming shows, stuff that you'd like to talk about. And we'll bring some people on to bigger brains than us, which doesn't take a lot.
Yeah, because we're trying to find a way, and I guess our technical girl is working on that, where they can actually text in if they want to have a chat.
Yeah.
Or be part of the show or something else. And it'll be a private text that, you can feel safe reaching out to us. But just know that we're here. We're here to listen and support you in every way we can. So,
okay.
Thanks again for hanging out with me, brother.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
Okay.
Peace. We're out of here.
See you.